and I just stopped.
Oh my god! I just realized
What?
there was no audio. Wait.
Oh.
1 sec. Let's do this for the third time. Third time. Roll the fucking intro. Hello. Welcome to the Degeneration Podcast, episode 7. The podcast for the degenerate generation. No, I didn't mess this up last time. Shut up. You messed it up last time. Anyway, let's bring our guest back. We have a special guest today, and I know we have not done this twice over. Shut up. Shut up about it. Anyway, please introduce yourself for the first time. Name, gender, and sexuality.
Okay. I am Connor. I'm a guy, and I am straight. Just pretty vanilla across the board.
All right. And in the totally not time that we did this, you said you're in college. How's college going?
Well, the first semester went pretty badly. I just didn't do my work pretty much. I got depressed and whatnot. But so far this semester is going pretty good, actually. Pretty well, excuse me. Yeah, I have high hopes for my university career.
Cool. What are you studying, man?
I don't. Well, okay, technically history right now, but I don't think that's a great idea.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
That's the thing about history is it's not for everyone. I think it's really, rightfully so. I think it bores people, but I don't know. There's just something about it that I love. So I do love it, but I'm probably gonna swap majors to something more practical, like computer science, maybe. I don't know. Just like literally anything else.
Literally anything else.
Because yeah, my mom wanted me to study history, so I just kind of agreed to it to get her off my ass.
You followed the parent thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
So if you do swap, what would you swap to? Sorry, I'm eating these things. Don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it. It's fine. I don't know, because the thing is, I don't really know what I like or what I'm good at. So, ideally, I would have taken a gap year to figure that kind of thing out.
Yeah, but I am so fucking happy I took a gap year because half my friends dropped out of high school. I mean, not high school, college.
Boy,
God.
Wow.
Like what's
it just like?
Hudson dropped out of college. Chris dropped. Wait, did Chris what? Was
Chris Chris didn't drop out.
Chris didn't drop out. Okay, I don't know who else dropped out, but someone else dropped out.
Wait, actually, maybe he did, because like I've never heard him talk about college.
Maybe he took
or maybe he just didn't go. Yeah. That makes more sense.
I took a gap year because, one, I wasn't entirely sure about what I actually wanted to do, and I'm so happy for that. One, because apparently online school sucks.
It does. Absolutely. Yeah.
According to like half the people. Like, why is it bad?
Well, for starters, it's just so disorganized. Like, every teacher has their own style of teaching, and every teacher has a set of skills that they have, and pretty much none of the teachers that I have experience with can handle online school, to be honest. I mean, it's not even their fault. They weren't trained for this, obviously. I mean, they were, but not adequately. So they're not prepared. so we can't exactly learn stuff well. Uh,
Man,
lie keeps buzzing around my head. I'm sorry.
it's
um,
like it's it's like being trained in something for like being trained on site for something for so many years, and then it's, well, now you're online.
exactly.
You're on the
Yeah.
internet. I
Yes.
It's crazy
So
to me.
they don't know what they're doing. We don't know what we're doing. Because we're freshmen. So all of this is new, and on top of it, we have to go through it totally online. So it's confusing. It's just messy because it's really easy to just not even be in class, to be honest. Because no teacher makes you have your camera on. Like they tell you to put your camera on, but they don't actually enforce it.
Yeah.
So, I know from experience that you can just log into Zoom or whatever, or collaborate, and just fuck off and play League of Legends or something. So, it's really that easy. Um, so it's really a lose lose for everyone involved. It's a total waste of money because they're not even teaching anything new.
God. Yeah. See, like me, I at the end of my high school career, I took at my entire high school career, I took every single engineering class that I could because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work at like Northrop Grumman or something, making like I was going into aerospace. And then
Interesting. Okay.
last year I was just like, no, I don't think I want to do that actually. And that's where it went. And it was I ended up being like, okay, I want to do computer tech. And then this whole COVID thing happened, and I couldn't get my A plus. So really, and then I hopped on this whole streaming thing. I've been doing this seriously. Well, I've been doing streaming in YouTube for a long time. I've been doing it for 2 years technically, but I just started doing it seriously last June. And so it's been kind of stagnant here and there. I won't lie. I haven't had much success. But things
Here's the
are,
thing: few people do.
yeah.
So, I'm not a streamer, obviously, but um, a lot of it is just time. You just have to work hard, I think, to
Yeah.
put yourself out there and really make a name for yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. And um with this whole streaming thing, as I've literally been nonstop saying I'm extremely excited to re-debut with the new body that I'm getting. And I've showed you guys spoilers like every time I get a new update
Yeah.
because Jesus, I'm really excited. Once I get it, it's going to be I'm doing the whole rebranding thing. Um, I'm trying to figure out like specifically what names I'm going by and stuff. I know what
Interesting.
names I'm going by, but like, yeah, doing the whole rebranding thing. I've started like, I guess you could call it RPing in like this new persona that I've taken on,
Okay.
and it's 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 confusing. It's a little confusing here and there. But yeah, so now I've gone full force. Like this is what I want to do. Like I want to have a podcast and I want to be a streamer and I want to work with some company like Hololive or like VShojo. Hopefully VShojo. If I could get on VShojo, that'd be amazing. But I know it's probably like not gonna happen at
Yeah.
all.
Sorry. Remind me again. What's the difference between Hololive and VShojo?
Okay, so Hololive is a Japanese idol company. So it's your standard idol company stuff. They control like who you collaborate with. They control what you can say. they're Japan, so you have that whole translation thing to go through. So you have to know some Japanese at least, probably. I mean, I don't doubt they have translators and everything, but still.
See, okay.
But V Shoujo is an American VTuber company. See, Hololive is an idol company that does VTubing stuff, while V Shoujo is a VTuber company that does idol stuff, and they're streamer first. So basically, like all of it's new, really. So they essentially took all of these like big streamers, these big VTubers, like Nyanners, Melody or Project Melody, Silvervale, Iron Mouse, all of them, and they essentially just put a corporate banner behind them, and so they can do like much more collabs. They can do like advertisements, merch, stuff like that.
See, okay, so
like, tons of more art and stuff.
It's more of a personal experience than working for Hololive. Is that correct? Interesting.
Yeah, also, another thing is that V Shoujo allows you to still be yourself, while Hololive, you are an idol. You must stay in character at all times, type of thing. It's like being a wrestler. All right, you know how in WWE, like all the people stay in character.
Yeah, I see.
Same thing.
Interesting.
No, working for V Shoujo would be super cool. Hololive would still be cool because I'd get to collaborate with like some of my favorite VTubers, like Calliope, Amelia, Gura, all of the EN people, like Kiara, Ina, Amelia, and then like maybe Corone, stuff like that. Pavolia, stuff like that. But V Shoujo would also be cool because I'd get to collaborate with like my favorite VTuber of all time, which is Nyanners, because I watched her before she was a VTuber, where she did all her stupid skit stuff. And Iron Mouse, Silvervale, Fruit. There's also this new one that's coming out that hasn't debuted yet. I don't know. I don't remember what their name is. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
It's right here. Here we go. Hime Hajime. Yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah, and Zentraya. Also, 99% sure that Zentraya is a dude. Because
you're sure who is a dude?
Zentraya is a VTuber that uses text to speech.
Okay. Can you just like tell through like the way they speak?
No, they use text to speech.
Yeah, correction. The way that like they. No. How would you say like it's not speaking, but it's not typing either?
No, I'm saying they are definitely a dude because they use text to speech.
Oh, like, that's all.
The use of text to speech is what gives it away.
Yeah, I mean, I can get that. I know a lot of, well, at least some of the appeal is physical. With some of these VTubers, because they give them fat badonka honkers, so to speak.
Big bong bong, bing bong bong,
big booba.
Bing boing boing.
So it makes sense to me that somebody would
like
that a guy would be
who is literally like half boobs.
I'll look that up real quick.
Her boobs are like half her model. Let me look up Hime Hajime, the VTuber. Yeah, no, half of her model is like boobs.
Oh, yikes, booba. Okay.
Booba, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
you
that
are
is
not
another
wrong.
thing. That is another thing about V Shoujo, is that it would fit me so well because 99% of the cast of V Shoujo is just horny degenerate. Like
Okay.
that is what you can boil them down to, is horny degenerate. Like literally one of them is a cam girl, which is Melody. That's what
Yeah.
she started out as.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Wait, does she do like safer work things now too?
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she
Huh.
streams on Twitch.
That's funny because like we see all the time these people who go from like safe for work content to not safe for work content, but I've never heard of anybody going from NSFW to just good old family
Yeah, no.
friendly content. That's interesting.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
It's great. It's amazing cuz I remember when I first when I first found Project Melody, I watched a VOD on Pornhub and let me tell you, I didn't jack off to it. She's just really interesting. It was like watching a stream, like a just talking stream, except there was a stripper in the background. Like that's essentially what it was, and it was great. I had a
Crazy.
great time watching that VOD. Not even in a sexual innuendo way. Just it was funny.
Honestly, I would think that. Well, actually, I don't know, because on the surface, you think, well, if you're too funny to be attractive, then what's the point of going on like one of these like adult film sites like Pornhub or something?
That's the
But
thing. That's the
I
beauty
guess it
of
just
it.
works for her. It's
She's
interesting.
she's not. That's the beauty of it. She's not too funny to be attractive. Like the funny part makes her more attractive.
Hmm.
I
Neat.
mean,
Okay.
maybe that's just me, and my type is like funny, but shrug. Either way, so
Really
I'm
cool.
actually wait, what were you about to say?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying that's cool.
Okay, but yeah, off my rant and off my soapbox, putting the soapbox away. Tell me more about yourself.
Okay.
Things you like to do.
Let's see. Obviously, well, I don't know, I like quote unquote to play League of Legends with you and a few other people.
Like,
Uh,
you gotta put that shit
I
in
have a
quotes.
love hate relationship with that game, but uh, kind of my life now, so just gotta put up with it. Um,
Same.
Other than that, I don't do a whole lot as far as like video games. Um, I'm more of uh, the English and history kind of guy in terms of like academics than science and math.
Hmm.
If that says anything about me.
So
Um,
the opposite of me.
I've always loved
Interesting.
to read. Yeah, basically. I've read probably way too much. Uh, Wasted time in school and whatnot, just reading away.
Unfortunately, uh, my ADHD doesn't let me read. So
That's unfortunate.
I have all these books that I just not have not read. Like what's it called? Let me pull out one of these. Let me see here. Metropolis. There we go. Yeah, there was a book called Metropolis that I just never read. You ever heard of Pendragon?
Oh, I swear I have. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Ooh, this series was a fucking journey.
Journal
Pendragon.
of an Adventure Through Time and Space.
Yeah,
Okay.
this shit was my shit back when I actually read, like as a child. Because back in middle school, I used to read a lot, so I read like all six of these books. and this was the
Hmm,
shit. But
that's cool. Let me
only
see
only a
here.
few people have got this. This is a fucking journey. Like if you know the lore to UB Funkies, like that's basically the level we're at.
I
Like
don't. I've never heard of that, but
that's
this
that's the
looks really
level
cool.
of like it's like teenage angst, the series. Because like
Uh,
what's it called? The series follows like you have the main character. I forgot his name, but the main character goes through these universes trying to stop this dude called Saint Dane, who
yeah.
who is essentially trying to just like collapse all of the universes and just like plunge them into chaos, and that's about it. And this
Hmm.
dude's like, this dude is led by his grandfather, and he's like, "Hey, no," or it's his uncle, I don't remember, but he's like, "Hey, no, this is bad. Stop this guy from doing thing." And like, you see the main character gets like kind of shitty superpowers, like being able to trick people or being able to like use Jedi mind tricks on people, while Saint Dane has the ability to shapeshift into whatever the fuck he wants. And
Really?
like
Okay.
it's like
That's kind of busted.
yeah, it's like crazy. And he I don't know. It's it's like a cat and mouse game except they're both cats.
Sounds fun. There's 10 books. Wow,
There's 10
that's a lot.
yeah, there's 10 fucking books. There's also books after the 10 books. So there's technically like 12 books. Or no,
Hmm.
there's like 14 books. Oh well.
Oh, I'm on the Wikipedia page and they have their own list of terminology. Wow,
Mhm.
this series is quite large.
Yeah, no, this series is crazy. This series is fucking insane. I have a love-hate relationship with this series just because like I read this and is like my favorite book series of all time, but it's also like I look back on it, this is kind of shit. This series is kind of ass. Which this is
Uh,
also the what's it called? The fuck, what's it called? The inspiration for my stories.
really? Okay,
Yeah, so
that's neat.
this is the inspiration for like Twisted and Divine. Actually, you don't know anything about any of my stories, seeing as you're not in the Wandering Spirits. But
Oh yeah, I mean,
I have I have a lot of stories that I have like written in my head and haven't written on paper.
neat.
We
Okay,
have Twist and Divine, Phantom Super Weapon, Secret, stuff like that.
cool.
But yeah, so
Yeah, I used to enjoy writing a lot too. I think high school kind of killed that though, because
oh, because
we never wrote anything good in high school.
they made you
Um,
write all the time, but none of it is stuff you cared about.
yeah, I don't think I've ever written a book report in my life, believe it or not. Um, I've never had to like analyze a book like that. The closest we've ever come was like individual analyses of characters from like short stories and things like that. Like
Damn,
I think we analyzed The Dead by James Joyce, and that just made me want to shoot myself.
damn, you
Because you know
never did
it's
a book breakdown
I've
of any
never done
sort.
a book report. Nope,
Damn, that's all we did last year of high school. That's all we fucking did.
crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's just like uh, different school systems, school curriculums, I guess. But uh, no, I just never had to do it for some reason. But
But
yeah, I don't know. I've occasionally thought about like trying to write a story. I don't know the details though. Just I don't know. I don't have anything concrete in mind, so I can't really talk about it. But I would like to write a novel eventually.
All my
I think it
stuff
would be
is
really
like
fun.
all my stuff is like hyper edgy stuff like a 14-year-old would write because a 14-year-old did write it.
Yeah, I
What's your
mean,
favorite book?
my favorite book. That's a good question.
Because you've seen my
Can't
favorite
really
book.
say. Yeah, I don't. I can't really say I have a favorite book, like a single book, but I'd say my favorite book series is probably Ender's Game.
Ah,
Especially the later books in the main series. Um, I know some people don't like them because they don't like how like large in scope they are, and they don't think that it's like uh, refined or focused enough. But there's something about like how like grand but somber those books are. Like especially like Children of the Mind. I think that book is fantastic. I really love like everything about it. I love the atmosphere in it. So I'd say those are some of my favorite books. Maybe maybe The Hobbit too. I really love that.
damn. Like I've always been told to like read the Ender's Game series, and I just couldn't get into it because it was at that time where like I couldn't read anything because my ADHD had gotten so bad.
Okay, it's
But
worth it though. Like if you can like manage to work past it somehow, I'd say it's definitely worth it to just
damn,
at least try to read them.
there are a lot. There's a lot more books than I thought there were. I thought it was just
Yeah,
like the one book, but
there's
what?
about like seven maybe. I can't really remember. There's like at least three that are like a spin-off focusing on Earth, but the main series is more like
There's
a really like
15 fucking
wide.
books.
There's 15. Wow, I didn't
Jesus.
know that. Okay,
Yeah.
I've only read seven. Jeez.
look at
Yeah,
look at
the
this timeline that somebody made. There's like multiple timelines that people have made for this series. Like look at this.
that's crazy. Okay,
And then like this one.
I've never even heard of half of these. These must be like short stories.
They're all
I
books
have
by Orson Scott Card.
yeah.
Jeez.
Huh. Okay, yeah, most of them are short stories, or at least half of them.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I've read as far as that like the first graph you sent, I read I read most of the two green books in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the blue books, and then the red books on the top.
Ender's Game, Ender in
So
Exile, Speaker for the Dead, Xenocide, Control Mind,
yeah,
Firstborn
and
Disease,
then
and
everything up to
Nightmare.
Shadow of the Giant. I really loved the Shadow books. They were interesting. Like it's more focused on Earth and what goes on there, but uh, let me think how to describe this. It focuses on this really scrawny little kid called Bean. That's not
Bean.
his actual name, but he was nicknamed Bean when he was on the spaceship with Ender in the first book because he was so small. But he eventually grows to just become this gigantic like freak of nature, basically.
He hits his
Yeah,
balls
he hit
drop.
puberty.
Hit puberty
Yeah,
and his balls
he
drop, and then he
eventually gets.
eventually got like 12 feet tall or some shit.
Yeah, I think he reaches like 8 feet, maybe 7 feet.
What the
And
hell?
he just keeps growing because it's a pituitary gland disease. So I think by like the third book, he knows that he's going to die, but uh, it, it's not actually that important to the plot. I won't say anything more about it because it'd be spoilers, but it's not the main focus of the series.
yeah, for people who are gonna read Ender's Game.
Yeah, it's a very very good series. That's all I'll say.
Neat. God, what is your okay? What is the book you had the worst time reading? Not your least favorite book, just the book you had the least favorite time reading. Because I can definitely name mine.
Well, the thing is, like most things in life, I either really like it or I don't do it at all. So I can't really think of any books that I didn't like, but I read anyway.
You didn't have
Uh,
to read anything for school that you didn't like?
well, I did. I just didn't read it
Oh,
because
fair enough.
I'm constructed alternatively. I think. Let me look it up. I can't remember the exact name, but uh, famous African American literature. We had to read Beloved by Toni Morrison in 12th grade, and I could not get through like the first 3 or 4 pages, so I just didn't read it. There's just something about the book. I think it's like the
Beloved one
style.
or the love?
No, just Beloved.
Oh, Beloved.
Yeah, I think the story's good. I just hate the writing style. There's just something about it, man. Like I just really hated the the few pages that I read of that book, and I obviously I looked at like Spark Notes and things like that to pass the class, um, and the more that I read the Spark Notes about it, the more I was just like, wow, this book just is boring. It's not even the kind of boring that's like inspiring or just like deep or interesting. It's just boring.
Jeez.
So I don't know. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I don't think the book is objectively bad. I just did not like it personally. I don't know. Maybe I'll read it someday, just to give it a try. But yeah, not a fan of that.
God. You know what was the one I had the worst time reading, but also the one that was the most interesting to me? 1984.
Really? Okay.
Holy
Well,
shit. That guy likes to fucking exposition the shit out of his book. Like, holy fuck. Exposition is supposed to take at most the first few chapters. All right. This dude used exposition for all of his chapters.
yeah, I
Almost
read
all
it
the chapters were exposition. Like, holy shit.
I read it in 11th grade, and I get what you're saying. I loved the book, but it's different. It's not
It's
not really
constructed,
enjoyable to read.
unfortunately.
No, I think Orwell just has his own writing style that's maybe a bit frustrating to read.
Mm-hmm.
Like I totally get what you're saying.
It's like, just
I knew a lot of people
point,
who just yeah. There were quite a few people who just were completely bored by it.
Yeah. But no, I liked the general idea of the story. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I think I prefer Brave New World, to be honest, but uh, I think 1984 is the better book, but
Yeah.
I enjoyed Brave New World more, much more actually.
Who was your least
It had a
favorite?
more interest.
Who was your least favorite character in a book? Like your least favorite main antagonist, let's say.
Main antagonist?
Yes.
Let me think.
The one you like they could easily get run over by a train and be replaced with a new character and you'd be completely fine with that.
Wait, okay, so the one that like I despise the most, or the one that I think just sucks as a character?
Um, let's go one by one. First one you despise the most. What's the protagonist you despise the most?
Good question. I haven't really read anything in a while, so I'm trying to rack my brain cells for this one. There was a series. It was like a zombie apocalypse series for kids. It was a pretty bad book series. I'll admit it. I stopped being interested in it when I was like 15, maybe 14. So this was a while back, but I think it was called Rot and Ruin. Uh, and this um, the main villain was named Charlie Pink Eye, I believe, and he ran like a fighting ring where he would throw like women and children into like this fighting pit that was built out of an abandoned theme park, and he would throw zombies at them, and you would make these women and children fight these zombies, and like the zombies were actually quite strong in the books, like relative to like other uh, apocalypse fictions. They were closer to like Walking Dead zombies.
Oh,
So there was like a real chance of them actually dying just one on one to a zombie. And uh, I I believe he raped a girl later on in the series. I didn't finish it because I just grew out of it, but I think uh, they hinted that he raped a girl in like the second or third book.
wait,
But
question.
it's been a while. So
Was this
yeah,
was this the was this the protagonist?
no, this is the antagonist.
Okay, gotcha.
No. This is just the antagonist that I think was the most rotten, despicable human being
I see.
out of all the books that I've ever read.
No, I mean the protagonist. All the antagonists are supposed to be pieces of
Oh, you
shit,
said
but the
protagonist?
protagonist, yeah, your least
I thought you
favorite
said
protagonist.
antagonist.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay because antagonists are supposed to be pieces of shit, like
Yeah.
fucking what's your face, Malty from fucking Rising the Shield Hero can go suck a cock, but whatever. Um,
Yeah. Probably Ender. I mean, he did a lot of good. Like he redeemed himself for sure. But he annihilated an entire alien species. So again, it wasn't his fault, but just like outside of context, his actions were despicable, and uh, he put a lot of people in danger. Like directly, he put maybe like dozens or hundreds of people in danger by his actions, but like indirectly, he put probably billions in danger
what the
because he
fuck?
was just so like reckless. Yeah, it's hard to explain without getting into spoilers, but he's a very complicated person.
Damn. Have you ever have you ever read? There we go. That's the word. Have you ever read the book Catcher? Not Catcher in the Rye. Wait, was it that? No, yeah, it was Catcher in the Rye.
I haven't. I do want to read it though. I've heard that it's good and it's like really interesting and whatnot.
I don't know who's saying this book is good. Okay, maybe it was good, but holy shit, the main character is a fucking bitch. He is
Really,
the
okay.
pussiest, most asshole character. Like you just don't. I hated this. I hated this character. It's
Me,
God.
let me look at the plot. Hmm.
God. I think that's the. I think I'm talking about the right one, but Jesus fuck. That book. That the character was just irredeemable. He was irredeemably shit.
So it says he ordered a prostitute, and she
He ordered a
she
prostitute.
took off her
and then
clothes, and the dude says,
started
"Oh,
talking
I just
to
want
her.
to talk," which annoys her and causes her to leave.
He bought a prostitute to fucking have a therapist. Have a therapy session.
Annoying frick.
He is an annoying prick. Like what the hell? He's I think at some point in the book, I think at like the beginning he falls asleep on a train, forgets all of the band's instruments, and then just fucking quits. And all of the instruments are just like on that train. Either that or he left all of the instruments at the school and they were on like a multi-hour trip.
Yeah, it says that it was. Oopsies. Okay. It says the book was intended for adults, but is often read by adolescents for its themes of angst, alienation, and as a critique on superficiality in society.
Yes.
Wow,
because the
this
main character's
sounds like a real piece of work.
He is a real piece of work. God damn it.
Not the whole book, honestly. This sounds kind of cringe, honestly.
It is really cringe.
This is not Poggers.
He is
It is not based.
really fucking cringe.
Yikes.
God no.
Yeah.
If he got run over by that train, I would be completely fine with that. Like Jesus Christ. There was another character that came to mind. I don't remember. Oh well. God.
So, what else? What should we got?
Let me think. God, because. Well, okay. Have you played like any like story based games?
Well, I played the Wall-E movie adaptation on the Nintendo Wii. I'd say that's a story-based game.
Is
No, but I can't really. Oh, Portal. I played Portal and Portal 2. Or actually, define story-based. It's like
Nier Automata, Warframe. Well, anything that has a story. So like, I guess League counts, Warframe, Nier
League's
Automata.
not really about.
Well, it's not about a story, but it has a lot of story to it. Transistor. What else?
So
I guess
I've played both Portal games. I really enjoyed them, honestly.
I don't remember. What was the story to the second game?
How it was dragged back into the lab at the end of the game, at the end of the first game, and she was put to sleep in a containment pod. But
wait, so she didn't escape?
No, well, yeah, she didn't escape. She almost did, but she was dragged back into the laboratory by a robot. I forget exactly who it is. Maybe it was GLaDOS, but yeah. So she wakes up like I think hundreds of years after the world ends. So pretty much everyone is dead by that point, and the lab is in ruins. And she's just kind of running around trying to find a way to escape. She meets a little robot named Wheatley, who kind of guides her around. And he's like legitimately retarded. It's part of his programming, I think, that he's really stupid. So he's kind of like the comedic relief. And speaking of that, he accidentally wakes up GLaDOS. So then it kind of becomes like Portal 1, where she's just doing tests and stuff like that. And then eventually they come to realize that Wheatley's actually a bad guy. So GLaDOS and Chell have to team up to beat Wheatley.
What?
Yeah, and Wheatley's this little like circle, basically, or not circle, sphere.
The emotion thing.
Yeah,
The
he's
emotional
one of the
orbs or whatever.
emotion spheres, cubes, whatever. I know shapes. I passed kindergarten.
Whatever they're called.
Yeah, it's been like almost
Emotion
a decade.
cores. There we go. Emotion
Oh, there we go.
cores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they fight. He briefly takes over GLaDOS's body, and he goes nuts, basically. So they kick him out. They send him to space along with this other like disabled robot. And GLaDOS basically realizes that she was human once, and then deletes I don't really know how this works, but there was a part of her programming that was like human still, and she deletes, quote unquote, that part. So she's just fully robot now, apparently. And she sends Chell away. She frees Chell, and on her way up the elevator to like the outside world, she's like serenaded by these like
Oh yeah, the music.
turrets. Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's a
turrets.
really great song. It's my favorite ending of any video game
I
ever.
forget what that song was called.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I think it's just the turret. But it's a real banger.
It has a song. I know it does.
I'm looking up.
Portal 2 song. Still
So it's
alive.
Cara Mia Adio. No.
Oh, it's Still Alive is a different one?
Yeah, that's the main Portal 1 ending song.
Oh, okay.
And Portal 2 has 2 ending songs. There's
ending credit song. That's all it says. It's just ending turret song.
Like a two. Hold on.
Oh, there's Cara Mia Adio. I'm seeing what you're looking at now.
Yeah, it's this one that I just sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good song. Yeah, probably one of my favorite games of all time. I mean, it was just a masterpiece.
Man,
I'm glad they didn't make a sequel.
I never played like either of the games all the way through. I think the only one I saw was, I think I watched Jacksepticeye play the first one all the way through. I never actually got to play either of them all the way through. Honestly, I might get it for Portal VR, and so that I can play Portal VR on stream. Because I want to do more VR stuff for my stream, especially since I have the Quest 2 now.
Okay.
But yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth it. I didn't know they had a Portal VR. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But definitely get the game. Like, it's fun. The story is fantastic. Just everything about it is great. I think it's really cheap too. Like the whole series is like $10. So.
Let me see. Oh yeah, Portal 1, 2, Portal Reloaded is free actually.
That.
But it's coming out. It's a community made mod for Portal 2. Actually, as a matter of fact, how much money do I have right now? If you get the whole Portal bundle, it's actually $15, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, I might just shell out the extra $5 to get both of them. I could play the Portal games on stream, actually. Hey.
Neat.
Guess what I'm doing Monday?
Yeah, for sure, dude. You should check it out. Like, Man, that song was just so good.
True. God, Portal has always been like one of my favorite games of all time. Just 'cause I played a bit as a kid. Like I said, I
Okay,
haven't played it all the way through, but I played it a bit as
right.
a kid.
Oh, that actually reminds me, when I was in seventh grade, uh, I was, I think at that time I was living with my aunt and uncle. My mom was there. We just didn't have a place to stay because we just moved to Texas, I think. So I had my Xbox set up on my aunt's like really fancy living room like setup, and I invited my mom to play Portal, and it was the funniest thing ever because like uh, I wouldn't call Portal a difficult game in the beginning, but my
Oh yeah.
mom, bless her, she just could not figure it out, and she just got bored with it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the thing. Like, have you ever watched those videos where it's people who have never played video games before play video games?
Used to, yeah, like when I was like really young.
Oh my god, it's
Gotcha, bitch.
crazy. Like,
Told to fly.
I
Okay.
don't know why it's crazy to me, but it's crazy to me to watch people who have never played video games play a video game. Because it's things like jumping and like moving around that seem so natural to us, and they just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, because like we always think of it as like, okay, how do we jump? How do we do X, Y, and Z? We already know the standard things that we can do. We just need to figure out the button to press,
Yeah, and it's usually
and
like this button or this button.
yeah,
And
and then we
we
just do
usually
it and
know
we
that
get the
button.
rhythm down. But these old people, they don't know that you can jump. Like that's a standard thing.
Yeah.
So they have to just it's like learning a whole new language. Whereas if you're learning like if you're an English speaker and you're trying to learn Spanish, it's like how do you say apple? Old people don't even know about an apple, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but
They don't know
just
about fruits or vegetables.
the con God.
But yeah, it's interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah. God, if like you know what my favorite story out of any video game is?
What?
And it's hard to relate to people because not that many people have seen the story to the point that I have. Warframe.
It's hard to say. Like,
Warframe has the greatest story I have ever seen in any video game. I have ever experienced in any video game. Let me rephrase that.
okay.
But it's
What do you like
so
about it?
it's just like it's the fact that you get thrown into this world having no idea what the fuck is going on and just being expected to just do things because the universe needs you to. And as you're going along, you're finding out more about the universe around you and like what you actually are. Like, okay, do you care about Warframe spoilers? I don't know if you're gonna shell out a year to play the game, to be honest.
I think I uninstalled the game, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't even log on ever.
Okay. Anyone who is hearing at this part, stop doing that. Just stop doing that. If you care about Warframe spoilers, all right. If you don't, then keep listening.
How many people are watching?
One, but I also keep the VODs on YouTube, so
Right, yeah,
anyway.
so go on.
So now that everyone who cares about spoilers are gone, um, all right. So at the beginning of the game, you wake up as a Warframe. You are a Warframe. That's all you know you are. You wake up as Warframe. This guy is trying to capture you to use your like cells or something to create bioweapons. All right. You break out of his control, kill everyone there, and then they're just like guns waiting for you in these caches that someone has placed there for you. And you start getting this voice talking to you called Lotus. She's like the announcer, or like you're like mission controller or whatever. And she's like talking to you. And she's telling you, oh, you have to pick up a primary, secondary, melee, stuff like that. She's telling you how to like sneak around, bullet jump, how to assassinate people, stuff like that. She is essentially telling you how to kill the entire military of this race. And you're going along your business. And you do this for most of the game until you start getting deeper into the story. You start learning like who Ordis is, aka your ship's AI, the fact that you have an actual body. You're not a warframe. You are piloting a warframe. You are essentially, right now in the story, the warframe is essentially a mech that you remote pilot from your ship. And you send the mech down.
With your mind, or do you get into like a little...
It's this thing called transference, where you like, you sit in this chair and it connects your brain to this like ninja mech, essentially. So you are remote accessed into a ninja mech that is killing people of multiple other races. And you start getting later down the story, you start realizing that this is you're an actual person behind this. You're what's called a Tenno. They have referenced the Tenno here and there, but you thought the entire time that the Tenno was just like the warframes. No. The Tenno are the ones who pilot the warframes. And you go like across these things called junctions the entire game. Basically what a junction is it allows you to travel from planet to planet. But to get through a junction, you have to defeat a warframe. So you go into the junction, you get a random warframe that like is guarding the junction, and as soon as you get in there, they stand up and both of you fight to the literal death. And so whoever wins gets to move on through the junction. Little do you know, you're fighting other Tenno. Not other players, of course, but you're fighting other Tenno in the story. At this point, we don't know that. We just think we're fighting some random thing. But that's another warframe. But then you get longer, like further into the story, like closer to the point where I'm at, you get to the point you realize the mechs that we thought were the warframes aren't mechs. Those are people who were infested with a fungus that slowly turned their body into half machine. And so
it's a machine fungus. Okay.
Yes. We see this with the what's it called? Excalibur Umbra. He is an augmented version of Excalibur who regained control of his body. And he has a special headgear that is where when you originally find him, he you can see there's a big chunk taken out of his head, and you can see his human face under it.
Look it up. I found it.
Did you?
I think. Yeah, let me find a better resolution pic though. Okay.
Yeah, this.
Under helmet.
This shit. Let me send it to you.
Oh man. He's messed up.
Like you can see that shit. And then like through what's it called? Like basically Excalibur Umbra is this warframe who was they were trying to take over his mind with the fungus, but he broke free of the control and he like essentially went feral he started fucking like screaming so loud that he would literally stun people in place. He would like fucking what's it called? Because essentially he's a different version of Excalibur. Excalibur is another Warframe, but Excalibur Umbra is like the dark version that wasn't completely finished. And so Excalibur Umbra essentially is like the one who still has control of himself. But in the story, it comes apparent that these people aren't going to stop hunting both, because you're originally tasked to hunt down Excalibur Umbra and kill him. But then you start realizing and start like hunting him down, and you come to the realization is that there's another person hunting both you and Excalibur Umbra, and during that mission, you and Excalibur Umbra eventually join forces, and he allows you to transfer with him, basically connecting your minds, so that now you can control him, and he can use all your weapons. And so, in the game, there's a thing that you can do, like you can have your Warframe stand by, and they'll usually just fucking stand there looking menacing, while you can use your normal body and like you can shoot this like void ray out of your hand. Well, if you transfer with Umbra, he continues fighting while you have your normal body out. And so like you start learning about that, you start learning that like the voice that's always talking to you is also part of this like weird secret society program that is like that has to do with like the old war and stuff, like way back before your memories go and stuff. It's a crazy fucking story. And it's really sad to see that it's behind so many hours of gameplay. And like so much time has to be sunk into this game. But to be honest, I don't have that many hours on this game. As many as I would have you believe. I only have 300 hours on this game.
Only. Neat. No, but yeah, that's actually not that much.
Yeah. Like for an MMO, that's not that much. But a lot of that time was spent waiting for weapons to be finished crafting. And that's the thing that sucks about this game. Is that a lot of your time is spent waiting for, because Warframes take, I think the longest I've waited for a Warframe to craft was 3 days. Actually, no, 5 days. Like a whole week, essentially. Because you have to craft each part of it, and then you have to craft the whole thing together. And it's just a big mess.
See.
But it is a really fun game. If anyone had... Okay, spoilers end here. Spoilers end here. For anyone who's still listening. People can come back now. I don't know how I would tell them to come back, but whatever. Let me see. Spoilers over. I guess I'll just put that there. But anyway, so this game's crazy.
Sounds like a lot. It's just like Warframe gameplay just does not sound very fun. But not fun enough for me to spend all that time trying to find that story.
Yeah. That's a sad thing to see. God, have I ever shown you? Do you know We All Live Together is?
Yeah, it's that cool song.
Yeah. So you've heard it.
Yeah.
That's from one of the places. God, the environments, like those lores behind the environments are super cool. It's this place called Um, fuck, what's it called? Fortuna. Yeah, it's a place called Fortuna. Basically, everyone there is like robot people, right?
Hmm.
This place is essentially robot socialism. Except, like, so everyone has a job they need to do, right?
Right.
And they have the higher ups that they need to pay. If you don't do your job to get paid so that you can pay the higher ups, they take your augments. Basically, they take your body parts and they give them to someone else who will do your job.
That kind of crazy. Okay.
It is really crazy. And like your job is to basically help them by fucking over the people the people who are higher up and are like, well, your job is not to like overthrow the capitalist pigs. Your job is more to make them realize that they are overworking and abusing the impoverished people. Is essentially your job, and you do this by blowing up and murdering people. So
Okay.
yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think the other one of my favorite stories probably has to be League of Legends Yasuo's backstory. Do you know Yasuo's backstory?
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. It's. I think it's good. I'm not entirely sure if it's good or not, but I don't think it's bad. Um, I don't know. I don't love Yasuo. I don't particularly care about him. Uh, I don't hate him either, though. Like, he's not the most annoying champion in the game to play against. You know, through his voice lines and stuff like that. He's just he's edgy, but not in like a unique or interesting way. I mean, his brother. Granted, they're not the same character, but his brother literally says nothing personnel kid. Like, or not says it. He basically does the motion. So I get that like that's appealing to a lot of people, but I don't really like his personality or backstory a whole lot.
Gotcha. I mean, I think it's a lot easier to understand where the obsession with Yasuo comes from if you've like read the entirety of Yasuo's lore and like seen all the
I mean, yeah,
cinematics and everything.
for
Because
sure. Like I get the
I
appeal.
definitely probably have an obsession with Yasuo, seeing how many hours I have on him and stuff. He's my second most played, right behind Teemo. So I'm a piece of shit through and through.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. I feel like it's weird because like there are champs that have like edgy themes, but they're done like much much more interestingly or like better just in general. Like I feel like Yorick is pretty edgy, but like obviously nobody's read his backstory, but basically
I would say he's
he
edgy. I think he's just badass, honestly. Like I know a bit about his
yeah,
backstory.
he was like he didn't have friends as a child and because or not maybe because or was it I don't remember but he could talk to spirits. He couldn't raise them yet, but he was basically an outcast, and then he was accepted into like the monks guild, and the guild rejected him too because they were afraid of like his powers. And then the Ruination came, and he could talk to the spirits, but it was like so much more like strong or like oppressive. There were just like tens of thousands of voices talking to him, and I listened to this interesting like podcast about his development, and his developers basically explained that he hasn't seen or heard a human voice in like thousands of years. Like he's
Wait a
that
second.
old.
Wait a second. How old is the Ruination?
Thousands of years old, apparently.
Wait, really? I didn't know it was that old. I thought it was
Yeah,
like
I was surprised
maybe
too.
100 years or 200 years.
No, Yorick's old.
Damn.
Yeah, the developer wanted him to be a little like Rise, where he was just kind of lonely and removed. But he explained that Yorick hasn't been around humanity for like 2,000 years, and he's honestly comfortable with that. Like he can't even.
He's chill with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even. I don't think he meant it to be funny, but it almost is. But it's just kind of sad too because he's okay with that. Like he doesn't even like look back upon like the pre-ruination times fondly because everyone despised him. Like he had no friends, nobody cared about him,
That's fair.
and so now he just has the dead with him, and so now he's like I'd argue he's one of the most important characters in the game, or maybe the most important. But obviously, like there are people who take the forefront more because they do more obvious things, but you know, Yorick's quest is the most important, I think. Like I
Well,
really hate how they did him dirty.
It's the most important to like the Shadow Isles, I guess.
Yeah, because but especially now that like the Ruined King is like an actual thing.
Oh yeah, actually,
And
now that I think
not
about
just
it,
an
he is
item.
kind of like an actual threat.
Yeah,
Now,
and now it's like
so.
reaching beyond Bilgewater now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that now the Ruination's like this like worldwide threat. And previously, like Yorick was really the only one who could stop it. And now they're just completely ignoring him and making it a Lucian and Senna story.
Well, I mean, Lucian and Senna have always been part of the lore with the Shadow Isles, though.
That's true. But it never felt like they were like at the center of it. It felt like they were on the outside, like trying to push their way in. And Yorick always felt more like connected.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his story. Is like saving the world.
But you know who they like? Who they just ignore even more, though. To be honest.
Who?
Hecarim and Callista. They're not even mentioned. They're not
That's
even mentioned
yeah.
at all. Like no one mentions them. Also, hello, General Kenobi. The Degeneration podcast is happening today. So that's what the fuck I'm doing today.
What's up, Kenobi?
But yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, no, they're not even mentioned. Like, I mean, actually, Yorick isn't mentioned that much either. But I feel like Yorick should be mentioned a little bit more.
He just feels cheated. Like, maybe they'll update him with like a special voice line or something when he meets the Ruined King, but I don't think they will. Let's just be honest, they're not. They're just gonna leave him there in the dust, and they're gonna have Lucian and Senna break the Ruination, not Yorick.
Like, they barely even mentioned like half the champions from the Shadow Isles. Like, Thresh was barely like Thresh was in the whole like the thing. Of course, he was with the Lucian and Senna thing, but the Ruined King he wasn't even mentioned. Callista wasn't even mentioned. Hecarim wasn't mentioned. Yorick wasn't mentioned.
Oh, Maokai's pretty important.
Maokai wasn't mentioned. Fucking
Karthus. Well, actually, I don't know. Karthus isn't really Shadow Isles-y. He went to the Shadow Isles. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he really counts.
He was like part of the Shadow Isles fan club, essentially.
Yeah. Same with like Elise.
Fuck, Elise. There we go. That's who I was talking about. Elise. Elise wasn't mentioned. I don't even remember. I don't even know any of Elise's backstory.
He just loves Vilma. No, but yeah, that's the kind of story that I really like. Is like a kind of like quiet, somber kind of sadness.
Yeah.
It's not like oppressive or edgy like Yasuo, or and it's not like super cut and dry and bright and happy like I don't know.
Fuck
Um,
Seraphine.
or I guess Seraphine, yeah. It's just like yeah, there's a kind of peace about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the vibe I wanted to go with if I ever wrote a novel. It's just kind of like just I don't know how
Essentially like somber war
sobriety.
hero.
I don't know. Yeah,
Somber war
maybe
veteran.
not even a war hero, just like someone who's just alone, not doing anything special, not really, just you know,
Maybe
just
like
coming to terms with that fact and trying to make the most of it.
maybe like an after apocalyptic event
Yeah,
character who's just kind of like dealing with the whole thing
yeah.
and has kind of just accepted it. And it's been so
I was
long
thinking
that
about it.
after the apocalypse that it's just kind of become their life type of thing.
Yeah, I was trying to think, and I was like, what if he was like traveling across like space for? I couldn't think of a reason why. I was just thinking like, it could describe like what he saw and like, just him reflecting on like the beauty of like the worlds he visits. That I think could be neat. I don't know.
I mean, actually, that's kind of similar to the whole disaster thing, like the whole backstory to me,
Okay,
the
that's
whole
cool.
streaming character. Like, his whole job is to like create and destroy universes, but he kind of just goes across his merry way, like
Hmm.
going from universe to universe, just kind of seeing what happens. And he's kind of alone on the journey, but now that he is on Earth, he's or now let me explain this in first person. Let me explain this in first person
So
because
I'll
I'm
let you
talking
practice.
in third person. But now that I'm on Earth, it's there's interesting people. Uh, Humans are kind of shit, but then again, there's also not shit humans. You know,
Well,
like
pizza.
yeah, don't have to be alone in the void of space anymore, type of thing.
True. Yeah, the closest I came to like an actual plot line felt too similar to JoJo Part 6.
Wait, what is that?
But I was thinking like, what if like it's in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the the world is trying to figure out how to undo like climate change and stuff like that. Um, but they face this dilemma where if they like undo the events of the past like 100 years or so, they'll kill off like every single person who's alive. And so the story would have focused on this one guy who doesn't care. He basically just wants to like commit suicide for everyone to like save the world, basically, and save his family who like died a long time ago. And so like he would basically be the hero, but you know the heroes on paper would be like this group of people who have this modern mentality of like living free, like because I feel like a lot of people nowadays just want to live for themselves, and it would have been interesting if I had been able to say like maybe it's okay to live for other people, because there's
Gotcha.
so many like examples that you can see where people or companies will say like focus on yourself first, put yourself first. And it would have been interesting if they're like to see a character who doesn't do that and wins. Like he basically like pulls an Enrico Pucci from JoJo and he like undoes time and he solves climate change, but he kills himself and everyone else. I don't know. It felt too similar to Part 6. It would have been a ripoff. But
I mean, I think that's
it's just
fine
something
to
in
rip
that
off
vein.
stuff. I think it's
I mean,
fine to
no.
rip off
I
stuff
don't.
because I'm biased because I do it all the time in the Wandering Spirits. The Wandering Spirits is
Oh.
this big like mishmash of like all these ideas of my own characters and like other people's characters. Like like what's it called? I literally ripped the like the whole lore about Monster Girl Quest. I basically ripped the whole thing and just adapted it to my world. Like I don't know.
Interesting.
I think if it's for I think if it's not monetized, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I really like. I like the tone. Like just like a quiet, like almost pretty much non-violent, like anti-hero, but you know, it is what it is. And cold pizza's just the bomb.
Cold pizza. I don't like cold pizza. I hate
Really?
cold pizza.
Like
Yeah,
cold pizza? Oh,
I don't like it. I don't know. I just don't like it.
to each their own, I guess.
What'd you say?
To each their own.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, do you have any other topics to talk about?
Hmm. Not really. No, I can't think of any.
All right. Well, everyone, that was the Degeneration Podcast, episode number 7. We have been doing this for almost 2 months now, which is crazy to me. It's very crazy to me.
Interesting.
I'm very excited for the future of everything. Right now, it's just grinding and looking up to the future right now. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. By the way, this was really fun. It was interesting.
Yeah,
Just getting to chat for a while.
it's really fun. It's really fun, like just talking about stuff in general. Like I
Yeah.
have these types of chats with like Walker at like 2 a.m. and it's great.
Yeah, Walker's just that guy though. Like, if you want to have this kind of uh, interaction, then he's your man.
Yeah, I had him on last episode actually.
Really? Okay, I gotta watch that then.
Yeah,
It's gotta be good.
it's really good. I don't remember. Oh yeah, we talked about everything that bad that happened in 2020 because it was that
Oh man.
episode. But yeah. So I'll see everyone. Goodbye.
Alrighty. So
See
yeah,
ya.
thank you for having me on once again.
No problem. See ya. Goodbye.